What's up, risk managers? My name is Nasdaq Anonymous, and I'm addicted to the NQ. And boy, is she one hell of a drug. And welcome to today's NA meeting, where we'll discuss the economic data for the week, the day's technical analysis, the trading opportunities that we took on today's stream, and build a game plan for tomorrow's price action. And if you haven't done so already, you can show your support by subscribing to the channel. And with that said, let's jump into the charts now. This is tomorrow's data. Be mindful that all times are in Central Time. And we have a small block of news scheduled for tomorrow, so let's jump into it. At 9:30, we have Fed Goolsbee speaking. At 12 o'clock, we have some crude news. At 2:30, we have some CFTC data. And at 7 o'clock, we have the IMF meeting. Now, it was never recommended to trade during volatile price action, but if you choose to trade during these times, then understand you're playing a game of chance with your trading account. And now that we know what to expect, let's jump into the charts and create a game plan for tomorrow's price action. This is the block of price action that we traded on today's stream, and today marks the 5th day of massive selling. But I know what you're asking. There has to be a reason for this. There has been massive selling this entire week due to fears of the first rate cut not being until March of 2025. But we did have some Fed speakers speak earlier today, and some of their statements did add fuel to this massive selling. Let's look at that now. At around 8:30 this morning, Fed Williams stated that he doesn't feel the urgency to cut rates, also stating that if the data calls for higher rates, the Fed would hike. If the Fed hike rates are not baseline forecasts, and rate cuts will be determined by economic activity, and eventually interest rates will need to be lower. And we also got statements from the ECB. Around 9:26, they stated that if the Fed doesn't cut rate, then they can't see 3 to 4 ECB cuts this year. And finally, Fed Kashkari stating around 3:21 that a rate cut could potentially wait until 2025. We also had statements from JP Morgan stating that there's a relatively high probability of no cuts this year, and there's a very, very low probability of interest rates hikes, which is a neutral stance. And this is not new. We speak about this all the time, and now the Feds are finally coming out to say this. So let's head back over to the chart so we can create a game plan. So today, price basically rotates around this range, making lower highs and lower lows, basing out, creating support towards the end of the session. Now, we just had Netflix release their earnings, and based on that, it does appear that Netflix beat expectation. But we didn't get a real reaction from the market. Usually during earnings, we usually get at least the Nasdaq to whip back and forth. But as you can see, nothing. Price stayed where it closed at. So that has me thinking about what possibly can happen tomorrow. Now, based on the technical, it's highly likely for price to continue down. But I find it hard to believe that we had 5 straight days of selling. Bulls have been definitely trying to take price higher, which are being met with violent sell-offs, which is mostly being fueled by the statements made by the Fed. These fears of no rate cuts this year really has investors selling out of their position. And with all this bearish news coming out at one time, I have to think that these bears have to sell out of their positions at some point. I'm going to be looking at the price action overnight with this one. I want to see if the bulls can defend this area, or if the bears can continue to push price lower, searching for lower prices. But tomorrow is Free Cash Friday, and we know that more often than not, the bulls usually take over on Fridays. So let's see if we get that tomorrow. And with that said, let's look at an ES chart. This is an ES chart, and this is the block of price section that we traded during today's stream. And if you joined us today, we caught this massive move up, scaling out of our positions here at the top and actually leaving a runner. Now, what I did not expect for the bears to come back in with such a massive bearish force. I did scale into this position here at this support area that just basically got ran through, and I had to stop out of that position. It just seems that the bears are not playing. With all this bearish news that is coming out all at one time, you can see that investors are just selling out of their positions. And at the same time, that just has me suspicious. When people are fearful, that's when you get greedy. And based off of this support pattern, we may be in for a massive bear squeeze for tomorrow. I am keeping my mind open to a sell-off because the technical suggests that there is some more room for downside. But we've had 5 days of selling, and I'm thinking that the bears are going to want to take some profits going into the weekend. The price action this week has been challenging. You really had to pick your spots, and you had to accept if you were wrong, because these bearish moves were massive, really massive. A lot of people's accounts were devastated by these moves this week, mine included. So this week really showed the importance of having sound risk management. But with these prop accounts, we can always start brand new and hopefully we learn from our mistakes. And in summary, both the NQ and the ES had another massive sell-off days. They both had bearish pumps up, but those bearish pumps were met by violent sell-offs. Now, we're going into Free Cash Friday tomorrow, and we all know that Fridays tend to run to the upside. So that's what I'll be looking for. Even though the technical suggests that we do have room for more downside, I will be also keeping my mind open for a bear squeeze higher. But remember, this is just a game plan for tomorrow. I want to see the price action in pre-market, and that will determine my bias going into tomorrow's stream. Because we don't trade what we think, we trade what we see. Because the price action writes the story, the charts tell the story. And if you listen and trust in the setup, then you'll have a story. And here's my story. So today, I'm ending the day being up $3,600. We did had some very slow price action earlier in the stream, but as the day progressed, the price action did get a personality and we were able to profit, catching the bottom of that move, going back up to the top. And trusting the charts, I was able to get out of the majority of my position at the top before that massive move down. Things that I can work on is just being able to recognize the different types of price action, like when buyers are buying or sellers are buying. And with that said, that's all I have. And if you're enjoying these breakdowns and want insight on trading the Nasdaq and ES intraday, subscribe to the channel and join the live stream where me and my trading partner provides intraday analysis in real time. Our current goal is building a community. And if you're tired of missing the best trades on the Nasdaq and ES intraday, then join the live stream, join the Discord, join the risk managers in the chat, and we appreciate your support as we grow. As we wrap up, remember the risk manager's creed. Trading involves risk and demands careful analysis and capital preservation. And we can do that by practicing sound risk management. Every trade tells a story. Make sure you write that story in your trading journal because our psychology is all over these charts. And as always, my name is Nasdaq Anonymous, and I'm addicted to the NQ. Stay green out there. Peace.